Let's talk about iambic pentameter. Now, when Shakespeare writes, everything that he writes in these plays is in iambic pentameter. And basically what that is it is a type of structure and a type of writing that follows the syllables of what he's writing. So when we look at the word, the answer is kind of in the word itself. Okay? So we have iambic pentameter. Now, iamb is a fancy word for a type of foot in poetry. It is a poetic foot. Now, it's not your literal foot. It's not like an actual human foot. It is this idea of, okay, it is a collection of syllables. A collection of syllables. Now, in that collection of syllables, iambic specifically has 2 syllables, and it is 1 stressed, 1, it is 1 unstressed, excuse me. I want to make sure I do this in the right order. 1 unstressed, and then 1 stressed. Okay, that is an iamb. An iambic foot has 2 syllables, make that an S, 2 syllables, 1 unstressed and 1 stressed. Now what that means is when you're talking naturally, you naturally put the weight on different parts of the word. So for example, summer. That weight, that natural weight is at the very beginning of the word and not the end. It's kind of like Hermione when she goes, it's Leviosa, not Leviosa, right? We do it naturally, and a lot of times we don't think about it, and we have to kind of slow down the words that we're using in order to even recognize we're doing it. But like, you wouldn't say summer, you say summer. And again, when you say it quickly, summer, you don't think about it, but you're not saying summer. It sounds weird, right? So iambic is always unstressed and then stressed. So let me think of it. Alike, right? The word alike. You don't say alike, you say alike. So the word alike is an iambic foot in poetry. Really, all that is memorization. Just know iambic is 2 syllables, 1 unstressed, 1 stressed. Okay? And then pentameter, that's an E. Pentameter is that idea that penta means 5. So in a line, there are 5 of these iambic feet, which means you have a total of 10 syllables. Okay, that's all it is. So you have 2 syllables in an iambic foot, 1 unstressed, 1 stressed, and then pentameter, you have a total of 10 syllables in one line. So let's look at our example. On your sheet, so on the Shakespeare language follow along notes, I've used a very famous sonnet first line, very famous. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Shall I compare, I can't think and talk at the same time, y'all know this about me at this point, thee to a summer's day. All right. And I've kind of written it out weird so that I have enough space. So, there's a line. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now, you'll notice the first thing I did on the paper is I marked it and separated it out into 2 chunks. So, when you're talking syllables, remember, it's not just the words. Syllables, or words can have multiple syllables. It's every time your chin comes down. Whatever trick that you were taught in elementary school as to how to recognize when there's a syllable, I was taught like the chin trick. So every time your chin goes down, it's a new syllable. Shall I compare, right? Like it's kind of an extra. You can count based on vowels, but sometimes there are multiple vowels and it's kind of tricky. So I like to use the chin trick. So here we have, and we're going to count first. Shall is 1 syllable. I is 1, so that's 1, 2. Compare. Again, compare. So you have 2 syllables. 3, 4. Compare. The to a summer's day. We have 10 syllables. Okay, 10 syllables. So we're good to go. Now, I also divided them out into 2, so in chunks of 2, because remember, an iambic foot has 2 syllables. So I suggest you do that whenever you're marking it on your own. So if I were to do that on mine, I would say, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And summer is divided in 2. That's okay. That's okay. Summer's day. All right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 iambs. It's very mathematical. Now I'm going to erase those. And when we're marking iambic pentameter, a U symbolizes an unstressed syllable. So think kind of like that first U in the word, okay? U is unstressed, so you have the U, and then a dash is stressed. It's just kind of the shorthand that poets use. I don't know why we picked that, but we picked that, okay? So when we're marking it, shall I, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, compare thee to a summer's day, okay? I'm going to kind of erase some of this up here so it's easier to see. So, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Now you'll notice every line in iambic pentameter, every single line, is going to start with a U. It's always going to start unstressed. So think it's always going to start with you. You have to take the step to do it, so it's always going to start with you, okay? But that's iambic pentameter. That's how you mark it. Now I want you to take a moment and complete the second example. So 2 households, both alike in dignity. I want you to mark the iambic pentameter in that line. Pause me, just kind of hit wait. I got to take my time. And make sure you count out the syllables and then mark them properly. So go ahead and do that while I write out my words. 2 households. And remember, when I'm kind of saying it out loud, you can go ahead, if you've unpaused me by this point, that's fine. 2 households, I'm kind of pausing in between each syllable as I write. So 2 households, both alike in dignity. And I have my prep. Now, first thing you do, obviously it's an example, so we know it's going to be 10 syllables, but you want to go through the rigmarole anyway. So, we count out syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and dignity is weird. Dignity is weird because we say it really quickly, dignity. So you might think there's only 2, but there's 3. There's that hidden I in there. So 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now we have our syllables marked. We're going to divide them out into 2. This is already done on your paper, but I'm just going to show you. 2 households, both alike in dignity. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're good to go. And then when we mark it, it always starts with unstressed, which is marked with a U, U, dash, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, and there's iambic pentameter, okay? Now, when I'm reading this, if I'm reading this out loud, and when you listen to the audiobooks, you'll notice this, they don't stress this. They're not like, 2 households both alike in dignity, where fair Verona, where we lay our scene, right? They don't read out the iambic pentameter in rhythm. Instead, they just read it normally, okay? And they'll read through the line. So instead of pausing at the end of every line, they're reading through to the end of the thought. 2 households, both alike in dignity, and fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, right? That's the beginning of the play. It's not chunked out. It's just very natural, very smooth reading. So all this iambic pentameter does, is turn it into a very strict poetic form, okay?